Episode 64, The Red Velvet Banquet, Series Finale. Let's play.
Though recent events weigh heavily on our minds, we must needs set them aside for now. We are come to a defining moment in Eorzean history. The grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard, the first time in 15 long years that our people have stood side by side with our neighbors to the north to fight in a common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean alliance. Failing that, it should at the very least serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravanians and Asians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought and won. The Primal still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumphs, remarkable though they are, bought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies broken on the steps of faith. Before our eyes in this very room, our dear friend Moonbrita. This is the victory we have wrought. It's as bitter ashes in my mouth. I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all of our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to represent a united front, that we might serve as a beacon of hope to all. Seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. I've instructed the others to meet us in Ul'dah, that we might make our grand entrance together. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Tataru and the men a note. If they do not return quickly, they will have to settle for whatever leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber. Alright, off to the big soiree. Kira, raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased, lass. Something on your mind? All kinds of craziness is going on. By the Navigator, Bulwar's dead? God damn it. They must know they've been rumbled. Sought it. This past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to thinking about where certain funds were coming from. So I had to dig around, on the quiet, and sure enough, I found it. Seems a fair bit of coins made its way into the Braves' coffers courtesy of a Dodo Consortium. A daft name for a business if I ever heard one, which is what first gave me an inkling that something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again and found another half-dozen donations from organizations with stupid bloody names. Didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trusts. Oh, I'll give that bastard credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are. Short of calling one of his businesses the bloody Bribery Consortium. I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contributions. The gods only know how many men of the first and third are taken to Legi's coin. But now we know as some of them are. I'd wager me right eye they're the ones what did for Wilrid. The earnest young fool had taken to asking the wrong kinds of questions. Bound to attract attention he was. Should have seen it at the time, but I didn't. Gods damn me. Still, I don't see what Telegi's hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk pissing into the wind. No, he's cleverer than this, so we need to be cleverer too. That's the only way we'll ever repay this debt of blood. Purge every one of them traitorous bastards from our ranks. On that you have my word. Kira, find yourself when you're an old day. We're heading into a storm. I can smell it. The kind what'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under before he knows it. Time for the ball. Might as well dress the part. Yeah? Been waiting for you, Kira. Celebration is due to begin shortly. I had hoped that we might make our introduction together, but Mistress Momodi just sent word that you are needed at the quicksand. Move on ahead, Kira. Pray join us once the matters of the quicksand are resolved. Give my regards to Momodi and let her know that I will call upon her anon. What does that mean exactly? Appreciate you dropping in on such short notice, Kira. I know you've got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with a crystal brave by the name of Eliane, aren't you? Former adventurer? Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyways, she came around for a meal not long ago, and before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if the others ended up dragging you to the feast, I was to see you got it before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of the Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. Short message, I'll grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking those words. Barely touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought those signs of a troubled heart, but something tells me she ain't planning to ask your thoughts on a gentleman caller. Where is she? As you stand upon the platform, your thoughts begin to wander, and all too soon the ghosts of comrades lost and enemies slain begin to file by your mind's eye in solemn procession. Clearing your head, you scan the horizon but see no sign of Eliane. Getting tired of waiting. In my nice dress. Straining your ears to listen, you hear the chatter of Quirkin and the buzzing of Syrphids, but no approaching footfall. Sighing, you bow your head only to notice the vial lying at your feet. Kira, is that you? What brings you out this way? Eliane called me. Where's she at, bro? Lieutenant Eliane? Why no, I haven't seen her about. Had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths, so must have passed this spot a dozen times. Or to patrol the city's environs on account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders, you understand. Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be with the other honored guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. Aye, pray return to Old Akira. If I chance to meet the lieutenant, I will tell her you were here. Hi! No good. Oh, you're paid by Teleji at a Leji.
O Sultan Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
I reckon you head straight to the feast after meeting with Eliane. What's the matter? No appetite? What's this vial I found? So, she wasn't there, but this was, eh? Let's see. Looks to me like an alchemist's file, but beyond that I can't say. Might be best if you hold on to it for safekeeping though. Any road, no use worrying about Eliane. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what this was all in aid of. Besides, you've got more important things to think about. Would you believe that? While you're away, another message arrived for you. Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultana's handmaid, no less. Seems her grace desires a private... Okay, what the heck? Brother can't go eat no food at the party that he is the guest of honor of? Come on now. Her handmaiden will meet you on the royal promenade and escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on then, go.
You needn't trouble yourself so.
Your grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your grace is ready, I shall summon the warrior of light.
I am.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now. But I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty warrior of light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
She will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required her attention, but it did not sound serious.
Enter.
Your grace, your guest has arrived.
Pray, come in, and take your ease.
'Tis well that the steps of faith held against the Horde.
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
Such noble words after the fact.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of Her Grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one.
Very well.
Is aught amiss?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon. You wished a word, Yu Hase?
You may go.
Your Grace.
You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion. I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy. You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence. But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. 'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few. Yet, that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Roban, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me? I am truly grateful. More grateful than I can well express. Much of my dread for the coming days has been quieted.
Was it poisoned? Poisoned was. Oh my gosh. Ah, no. Why are you just sitting there? Get up!
Your Grace!
Oh yeah, that servant's the one who poured it.
Her Grace, the Sultana, is dead. Poison in her wine? You did this!
Ah, heck, no, they ain't blaming us.
Spare us your denials! I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance. I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
I didn't bring my sword. That's weak. What the heck is going on?
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
Oh my god.
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
It's wicked, dude. To let you probably. You know that.
What is the meaning of this?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away.
You have been a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
There's a lot going on. Oh, and of course, Thancred's over here macking.
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without her grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us, now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. As you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthis. I do begin to see how the ranks of the Immortal Flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
It's crazy all this stuff is coming back round. Dude, this plan is... whoever planned this is... thought it well, thought it out. Far, far in advance.
Wait, goddamn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in her Grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
First I get my powers taken, and now I'm getting accused of something I didn't do? I'm sick of this.
No! No, this cannot be!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
Aw, heck no, they got me messed up, bro. They got me messed up.
This woman stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamu ul Namo, and as suspected accessories to the crime, all members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
I'm gonna kill you. Mark my words. It ain't ended yet. I'm definitely gonna kill you.
Should you demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison Her Grace was found upon the assassin's person.
Oh, we fell right into it. Fell right into the trap.
How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded Her Grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh yes, I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands. Now that is truly ridiculous.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead. Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamu. Nanamu. No!